ladies and gentlemen, we would like to kindly invite your cooperation to be seated because the event will start soon. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome, and the opening ceremony will come in shortly. Please kindly switch off your mobile phones on the silent mode during the event, and please kindly sit according to your seat, and we prioritize to fill the in front seat. And before we begin, we would like to invite to the stage the speakers for the opening remarks, the Secretary General of the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Resources, Republic of Indonesia, Mr. Rida Mulyana. And we also would like to invite to the stage Head of Trade, Danish Embassy in Jakarta, Mr. Jacob Kaljepsen. The Commercial Counselor, Finland Embassy in Jakarta, Ms. Nina Jacobi. The Minister Counselor, Deputy Head of Mission, Norway Embassy in Jakarta, Mr. Christian Netland. And the Senior Business Developer, Swedish Energy Agency, Mr. Paul Weston. His Excellency, the Secretary General of the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Resources of Republic of Indonesia, Mr. Rida Mulyana. Honorable, the Special Advisor to the Minister for Strategic Planning, Mr. Yudo Dwinanda Priyadi. Honorable, Head of Trade, Danish Embassy in Jakarta, Mr. Jacob Carl Jepsen. Honorable, the Commercial Counselor, Finland Embassy in Jakarta, Ms. Nina Jacobi. Honorable Christian Netland, Minister Counselor, Norway Embassy in Jakarta. Honorable Paul Weston, Senior Business Developer, Swedish Energy Agency. All participants, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Shalom, Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, Salam Kebajikan, and welcome to Shangri-La, Jakarta. A very good afternoon to everyone and a very warm welcome to program for Indonesia-Nordic Investment Day, collaboration to achieve net zero emission target. And to start this auspicious occasion, the first welcome address by the Head of Trade, Danish Embassy in Jakarta. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Jacob Carl Jepsen.
Thank you very much. And first of all, I'm very, very pleased to be here today, and I should pass my regards for my ambassador. He was not able to join in today, but it was important for us, of course, to be here. And we are very, very pleased to be here as the Danish Embassy together with our Norwegian family, but certainly also very pleased to be here together with our very, very good friends in the ESDM. So, dear Park Rida, thank you very much for inviting the Danish Embassy to the event today. I think I would like to say that this has been an extremely busy year, so the discussion today and also the event today is very much timely. We have just ended the G20, and congratulations to Indonesia also for the achievement there. I can say from the Danish perspective, we are very, very keen also to see on the joint or just energy transition program that there are a lot of, you can say, pipeline now and also funds available for actually looking at, first of all, you can say phasing out of the coal power, at the same time also looking at renewable energy as a solution for Indonesia. We have been in Indonesia for a long time as Denmark. We have a very close cooperation with the Ministry of Energy here. We also have today a very close cooperation with you in terms of the framework condition for energy transition, but certainly also more on the technical skills which we're looking at the moment. We sincerely also believe that today we need to see more on the private sector engagement, and this is exactly also what today's event will discuss, how actually to involve with private sector and let the private sector to come in to be part of the development here. We have seen that often we're discussing about financing, and as I mentioned about the JP is going to be one of the elements, but we also see that funds and investors are ready actually to invest in Indonesia, but at the same time also of course seeing some challenges, which I hope also we somehow can discuss a little bit today in our meetings. Looking at the program today, I can see it's very broad. I can see there's many interesting sessions and elements. We are talking about biofuels, we are talking about production, we are talking about energy production in general with different geothermal, we are talking about solar, wind, etc., etc. And I think it's very important to point out here also to say that the transition here is needed, and it's also open for many different kinds of technologies. When we speak to the Danish companies and we see more and more interest from Danish companies to take part of the journey here in Indonesia, definitely one of the messages is that Indonesia is ready. Indonesia has different avenues, and Indonesia also needs to have different technologies provided, not only looking at one kind of source. It's also important to highlight that some of the challenges we do see is sometimes to make the scale of investments attractive for the investors. So maybe also that's going to be some discussion today to say yes, we can test different technologies. A lot of the technologies you will hear about today is proven technologies, but what we need sometimes is really to get enough scale in actually showing both that we can compete on the prices. Renewable energy is going to be cheap. It is cheap. It's matter also about bringing scaling off around the projects. And we had recently also with ESDM as a partner a very good meeting on energy efficiency, where we also reached out to the private sector. And I think these kind of engagements between government and the framework, people responsible for framework, legal frameworks, and also the private sector is very important in really trying to boost, you can say, concrete things on the ground. And we have seen lately, as I mentioned, about the private sector and the private sector engagement. So if we were able to bring all the three parties together, I'm very sure that Indonesia have very good opportunities to move further from where we are today. And I will not say too much more. I'll just like to say that I'm very pleased to see so many people here and also online attending, and also that we are able to bring all the Nordic countries together here in really presenting what it is we are talking about when we talk about renewable energy and also making the way for zero carbon here. We have a new area which we've been looking at from you can say the embassy side from Denmark, is born to look into the maritime sector. And somehow you could say that energy transition and climate is of course cross-cutting. When we're talking about the transport sector, we talk about shipping. Can we find new fuels, green fuels for the shipping transport sector? We are going to do very good, not only for Indonesia, but certainly for the whole globe. The contribution there is significant for the overall CO2 calculation. That was just an example. I know that we are going to see many other different examples also later today. So thank you very much, and I hope you all have very good and fruitful discussion. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jacob. Next, I would like to invite the Commercial Counselor of Finland Embassy in Jakarta to deliver the second welcoming remarks. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Ms. Nina Jacobi.
Does it work? Okay. Now it should work. Thank you. As part of the Nordic community, I'm really happy about this event. This is a great opportunity and a great idea to bring us all together here and talk about energy and zero carbon. Everybody knows that the Nordics they are really forerunners in the energy transformation, and also the zero carbon goals. I'm really proud to say that Finland has the most ambitious goal to reach net zero carbon, that is in 2035. Many cities and companies are committed to even earlier. City of Lahti, for example, has a goal to achieve net zero carbon in 3 years, 2025. This requires a lot of good policies, plans, and actions in all levels of the society, coming from government, the civil people, and also naturally industry. It also demands a lot from the industry who is creating the solutions to achieve zero carbon all over the globe. In our vast discussions with Indonesian stakeholders during the years, we have stated that working together for the goals of the whole globe is the best way to achieve the results. This year, renewed memorandum of understanding between Finland, the Ministry of Economic Affairs, and the Ministry of Energy of Indonesia has a good ground for further collaboration. We also have been talking a couple of weeks ago, we had the latest discussions with the Ministry of Environment, and really fruitful, and we will follow from there. We are here today with Finnish officials and Finnish companies to continue the discussions, start new ones, and share experiences and know-how of Finnish industry, and together create good solutions for Indonesian zero carbon goals. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Nina. Next, I would like to invite the Minister, Consular Deputy Head of Mission of Norway Embassy in Jakarta to deliver the welcoming remarks. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Christian Netland.
Secretary General, ladies and gentlemen, it's a great pleasure to be here today. Let me start by expressing my appreciation and gratitude to the Ministry of Energy for pulling this event together. This is a very timely and important initiative. We look forward to the active participation from Indonesian colleagues and Nordic companies today. From Norway, there will be interventions from companies and agencies that are involved in the climate-friendly approaches for energy transition. The topic for this seminar is very much in line with Norway's priorities in Indonesia. For almost 30 years, Indonesia and Norway have had bilateral energy consultations. The last round took place in Oslo in June this year with participation from Minister Tasrif. Traditionally, oil and gas used to be the cornerstone of these consultations. But now we experience that renewable energy is becoming a much more important part of the cooperation. Indonesia has an immense potential for renewable energy, and Norway has the knowledge, the technology, and the capital. We very much hope to see Norwegian companies investing more in Indonesia. I know that many companies are also searching for investment opportunities here. We will hear from some of them later today. To attract investments, the host country needs to establish a competitive investment climate. It is essential to ensure predictability, transparency, and an equal playing field for investors. The most recent arena for renewable energy cooperation is the Just Energy Transition Partnership, or the JETP, where Norway has been invited to join as an international partner. This is an ambitious agreement on green transition. Over the next few months, the parties will work together to develop a concrete plan for investments. Norway is pleased to take part in this process. I believe the only way forward for a successful green transition is to increase investments in a just and inclusive manner. Norway and Indonesia share the aspirations for a just transition that provides jobs and economic benefits while safeguarding the environment. Looking into the future, I'm certain that our countries will continue our strong partnership. We look forward to a continued cooperation and new investments in the energy sector. Again, it's a great pleasure to be here today. I really look forward to the discussion, and I wish you all a very successful event. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much to Mr. Christian. Next, I would like to invite the Senior Business Developer of Swedish Energy Agency to deliver the opening remarks. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Paul Weston.
Thank you very much. If we go to titles, I'm a Senior Business Developer now, but I used to be the Counselor for Energy at the Swedish Embassy, and I used to also be Acting Director General of the Swedish Energy Agency. So if it comes to titles. But thank you, Papa Rida, Papa Yuda. Dear friends, I'm very happy to be here. It's a very good and timely event. And I just come out from 2 days of the Swedish-Indonesian Sustainability Partnership Days, where Papa Rida also was representing. We had 2 days. One was shared between transportation, industry, and health, and 1 day was full energy. Because we have an MOU since 2017 with your ministry, Pa, and also since 2013 we have been active. We had an MOU also with National Energy Council. We had high-level representatives from ministers, governors, DGs at the event. And we have always had very great support from ESDM and also from the embassies. Also, I would like to thank and send my special thanks to Pakama, who is the Indonesian ambassador to Sweden. He's a very dear friend of mine. So I want to report a little bit on what we actually achieved at the Swedish-Indonesian Sustainability Partnership Days. So we had 7 MOUs that I want to report. One between the Ministry for Industry, PD 4.0, with SKF, Ericsson, and Hexagon, 3 multinational companies that have a turnover of totally 30 billion euros and about 160,000 employees worldwide, and that are localized here in Indonesia. Kereta Api Indonesia and SKF. Swed Fund and Transjakarta for electrification of the Transjakarta bus system. PLN and Business Sweden. You don't see, we have Business Sweden logo here, yeah? So they are our Trade and Invest Council here in Indonesia. So when it comes to investment days, Business Sweden is where to go. We also have a local MOU between West Nusa Tenggara and 3 small and medium-sized companies that are here today, EcoBarge, Minesto, and our Ecolution. And we also had MOUs between Waves for Power with PLN and also with Indonesia Power. And then, what are we going to do with this next year? We have 10 points that we want to work with Indonesia for the coming year, and 8 of them are energy related. So, electric vehicle infrastructure program, BRT and green bus development, a task force between PLN and Team Sweden, knowledge transfer in the power grid integration, including Hitachi Energy, formerly ABB, the Lombok-Sumbawa eco-region platform for tourism development and renewable energy. We also want to work strongly together with ESDM on coal replacement with hydrogen and biomass. Also financial support from the Swedish export credit system and other support systems that we have, and also ocean power for remote locations. So I think this was very successful days, Pa, and I hope to work together with you and your team in the future. I want to point out Pa Firman Ariansa from Business Sweden. He is the go-to person here in Jakarta for anything that is related to energy. So thank you, Pa.
Thank you very much, Mr. Paul. Now we would like to kindly invite the Secretary General of the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Resources, Republic of Indonesia, to deliver the opening remarks. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Rida Mulyana.
Mana panitia? Harus beginikah? Atau dua-duanya? Oke. Baik, bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Honorable representative from Danish Embassy, Pak Jakob, Ibu Nina, representative from Finland Embassy, Pak Christian, representative dari Norway Embassy, and the last one is Pak Paul Westin from Swedish Embassy. There is no representative from Iceland, right? Icelandic nggak ada? Iceland. I see. Okay. And let me also mention the representative from state-owned and private companies from Indonesia and Nordic countries. My colleagues, Pak Yudo, Pak Sampe, Winton, and all friends here, distinguished speaker, guests, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat sore, very good afternoon from Jakarta. It is an honor for me to represent Minister Arifin Tasrif to welcome you all, both in person and online, at this auspicious event of the first Indonesia-Nordic Energy Investment Day. I am thanking all the committee and participating embassy for preparing this forum over the last few months. It was not easy. It's not an easy mission to gather 10 of company from 6 different countries, but today we all meet it despite all the challenge. Distinguished speaker, guests, ladies and gentlemen, energy transition has been one of the main focuses of the global climate change agenda. And during this year G20 presidency, Indonesia bring in energy transition as one of the 3 cores of the discussion. Amid the unprecedented event of the war in Ukraine, which led to multidimensional crisis, the G20 leader declaration came up with what we call a consensus on Bali Compact, a set of voluntary principles to ensure smooth and effective energy transition for G20 members and beyond. One of the principles highlights the importance of international partnership to support emerging economy in scaling up investment toward low or net zero emission energy system. Today's forum, therefore, is highly very relevant to leverage and actualize the commitment. In the next 4 decades, Indonesia will generate more than 580 gigawatts of electricity. Most of them will come from solar, hydro, geothermal, ocean energy, as well as hydrogen. Although fossil energy such as oil and gas will support the transition to cleaner energy system, the government of Indonesia has set a strategy to reduce the use of fossil energy by converting fossil to renewable, such as the gradual retirement of coal-based power plant. Of course, we need large investment, a leapfrog, to support a smooth and effective transition to clean energy, in which 25 to 30 billion US dollars are essentially required to meet 2030 middle-term target. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Indonesia and Nordic countries have established very good cooperation in the energy sector throughout this year, demonstrated by various G2G and B2B initiative and project. At the government level, Indonesia has MOUs with Finland on the sustainable, clean and renewable energy and energy efficiency, with Denmark on renewable and clean energy and energy conservation cooperation, and with Norway on the energy sector. We meet regularly through Indonesian-Sweden Joint Working Group on renewable energy and Indonesia-Norway bilateral energy consultation. We have also the Indonesia-Denmark Energy Partnership Program, or what we call INDODEP. And we also have capacity building program and potential initiative on geothermal with Iceland. Earlier this year, Minister Arifin, my minister, accompanied by minister official, had the opportunity to visit 3 Nordic countries to show our eagerness to further explore and strengthen energy partnership. The visit provided the opportunity to meet and discuss with the government official and prominent business leaders. Minister Arifin has identified and took note the possibility for furthering the energy cooperation between Indonesia and Nordic partners. It is our highest hope that today's forum will be a good follow-up to concretize what has been previously discussed. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, as a final note, even though there are 100 on the path of to clean energy transition, I'm really confident that strong international collaboration will help in achieving global climate goal. Will it be easy? Obviously, no. But will it be achievable? I believe yes. Therefore, I would like to invite Nordic companies to contribute actively to the Indonesian clean energy sector, seize opportunities, and together deliver a sustainable solution in this decade of action. Thank you, and wishing you a productive meeting ahead. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Rida Mulyana, for the last opening speech. And ladies and gentlemen, we are now going to move to the next agenda, the plenary session regarding Presidential Regulations 112/2022 for strengthening Indonesia's energy transitions, that will be delivered by the Special Advisor to the Minister for Strategic Planning. He is also the chair of the Energy Transitions Working Group, G20. Please welcome Mr. Yudo Dwinanda Priyadi.
Alhamdulillah Bos, Pak Rida, Pak Sekjen, Pak Jakob, Bu Nina, Pak Paul, Pak Christian, Pak Sampe, Bu Inten, Pak Oki, the Pertamina. And I see some of directors and bureau chief here from my ministry. All the speakers and representatives from Danish, Finnish, Norway, Sweden, and Iceland, and all of you, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon from Indonesia. First and foremost, please allow me to extend my gratitude and appreciation for granting me the opportunity to share with you all about Indonesia's policy to strengthen energy transition. Next slide, please. During the Indonesia G20 presidency, the third pillar of G20 this year, 2022, on transition towards sustainable energy become the basis to the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Resources to produce concrete deliverables for energy sector. In G20 Energy Transition Minister meeting in Bali, September the 2nd, 2022, energy minister from G20 members and invited countries have agreed on the Bali Compact, which strengthens commitment on securing resilient, sustainable, and reliable energy supply, improving affordability, boosting energy efficiency, and scaling up innovation to ensure smooth and effective transition towards carbon neutral. As a medium strategy, Indonesia has submitted the enhanced nationally determined contribution by increasing emission reduction target from 29% or equivalent to 835 million tons CO2 to 32% or equivalent to 912 million ton CO2 in 2030. So we are showing more emission. The Ministry of Energy and Mineral Resources has also developed the Net Zero Emission Roadmap in Energy Sector 2060, outlining the energy transition strategies both in supply side by renewable energy utilization and demand side by energy efficiency application. Next slide, please. The transition to clean energy is crucial given the state of emerging energy crisis of current global climate, in which the 1.5 degrees remaining barely within reach. We need to secure energy supply while maintaining its sustainable development. Indonesia has abundant more than 3,600 gigawatt variative and distributed new and renewable energy resources, which is essential in fulfilling net zero emission goal. To date, more than 12.5 gigawatt renewable power plants are in operation. In 2021, new and renewable energy contributes to 12.2% of our national energy mix, putting Indonesia as one of the key players for NRE, new and renewable energy development, in the ASEAN region. However, we must act upon tactical strategies in order to reach our national target of 23% NRE in the national energy mix by 2025. To reach this target, the government of Indonesia has implemented several strategies, such as building new on-grid NRE capacity based on the PLN Electricity Development Plan or RUPTL 2021 to 2030, implementation of rooftop solar PV, conversion of diesel power plants to NRE, mandatory biofuel utilization, a very crucial part in our energy policy, geothermal exploration, and other off-grid NRE utilization. Next slide. Based on the net zero emission roadmap towards carbon neutral, additional power generation after 2030 will only come from renewable energy. The development of variable renewable energy, VRE, in the form of solar power plants will significantly increase. Yes, Pak Presiden. Will significantly increase starting from 2030. So again, there is a power plant after 2030 coming only from renewable energy and increase starting in 2030, followed by wind power plants both onshore. For offshore, we plan starting from 2037. nuclear power plant will operate gradually from 2039 to maintain system reliability and expected to reach 31 gigawatt in 2060. While hydrogen will be produced from new energy power plant, so-called green hydrogen, starting in 2031 and used for the non-power generating sector, mainly transportation and industries. The need for power sector investment requires more than $1 trillion by 2060, or $29 billion per year. This is a significant amount of money. Thus, due to limited funding from the public sector, support from renewable projects from private sector, including financing, are necessary. A set of strategies in phasing down coal-fired power plants have also been established based on a maximum of 30 years contract period. The capacity will increase up to 2030, and there will be no additional coal-fired power plants afterwards. The last coal-fired power plants will be terminated in 2058. Next slide, please. Considering Indonesia's unique circumstances as the largest archipelago on Earth, we plan to implement an integrated supergrid to provide energy access to local people, address mismatch between renewable energy resources and the location of high electricity demand area, the location of resources and the demand market potentially in different islands. So this is something that we need to address. That's why we are proposing a supergrid, at least to connect 4 main islands and Bali and Nusa Tenggara. We also, that's very crucial actually. This transmission plan is very crucial to maintain the transmission stability and security. We already have 4 plants listed in RUPTL and other 6 plants which still require further studies. In addition to that, we understand that the required investment will be decreased by the implementation of RABIT, energy-based industrial development RABIT scheme. It is carried out through a demand creation approach to integrate regional and industrial development, attract investment, and increase regional economic development. This is a key part of our energy transition strategy, developing a RABIT, combining new power plants, and then create the demand, building new industrial complex. This concept is used for the development of green industrial park in North Kalimantan. This area, which have abundant hydro energy resources, is the site for Tanah Kuning Industrial Area, which will host several new green industries such as renewable fuels, green hydrogen, new energy battery industries, cathode, and green aluminum. Next slide. To attract more investment in renewable energy development, the government has launched the new presidential regulation number 112, year 2022, this year, very recent, concerning the acceleration of renewable energy development for electricity provision. The presidential regulation 112, year 2022, regulates or stipulates the utilization of NRE, namely hydropower, geothermal, solar PV, wind turbines, bioenergy, and tidal, which will be carried out based on the RUPTL PLN. The price mechanism, which has 2 different schemes. One is conducted through 2 stages, year 1 to 10 and year 11 to 13, without any escalation on price, and the location factor is included for stage 1. So this is hopefully going to be an attractive environment for renewable investment in Indonesia. This mechanism is allowed for hydropower as baseload, solar PV, geothermal, wind power, biomass PV, and biogas power plants. Another price scheme is through deal price for bigger hydro, biofuel power plant, and ocean power plant. This deal requires MEMR, my ministry, Ministry of MEMR approval. The procurement mechanism, which is carried out through direct appointment and direct election, with a procurement duration of 180 working days. The scheme uses BOOT through B2B. The contract period can be set from 20 up to 30 years based on the type of an RE and the currency of taxation, of course, in rupiah. Moreover, the regulation also mandates the government to set out coal-fired power plants' early retirement roadmap, except the CFPP, coal-fired power plants, which were already stated in RUPTL, as well as coal-fired power plants which are integrated into industry. I do hope that this forum will provide a fruitful discussion to further collaborate with all stakeholders, mainly for Nordic countries, which is crucial to successfully carrying out the energy transition and meeting climate goals. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Yudo Dwinanda Priyadi. And before we move to the next agenda, we will have a photo session together with the speakers. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Once again, in 3, 2, 1. Okay, thank you very much to all the speakers. And I would like to ask to come back to the seat. Okay, sorry, for one more time for the photo session.
One more.
We would like to ask you to come back to the stage. One more time. Thank you, and you may please come back to the seat. Ladies and gentlemen, we're about to move to the next agenda, the breakout session. Before we proceed to the next session, we have already set 4 sectoral breakout rooms. We would like to inform that the breakout room 1 regarding bioenergy and future energy development is in Surabaya room, located in 3rd floor. And breakout room 2 regarding transitioning the power sector is in plenary room, which located in this room. So for the guests who would like to join the breakout room 2, please stay in this room. And breakout room 3 regarding the energy transitions in demand sector is in Padang room located in 3rd floor. And breakout room 4 regarding the natural resources for energy transitions era is in Medan room located in 3rd floor. And before we start the breakout room session, we also already set the coffee break in the foyer area in front of the ballroom. And once again, thank you very much for your participations during this event, and we wish you a successful discussion and delightful day ahead. Thank you.